Hey everyone, Slothcakes here and welcome back to some more Battle Operation 2. Now let's skip the intro and get right into this. In the recent update they added something pretty big, and that's water. There's water in maps now, mobile suits are either amphibious or non-amphibious, there's skills relating to that, and there's changes to your mobile suit if they go into water being amphibious or non-amphibious. And that's what we're going to cover today, so sit back and relax because this is going to be a pretty long video, but I'm going to try to cut it down for you guys. But anyways, the first thing that's going to happen is to check if your suit's amphibious or not. So the first things you're going to do is go into your haro and go into mobile suits. Now I made a specific tag for this and I'm going to be looking at these 4 mobile suits. Now let's start with the Gundam. Now with the Gundam you're going to be hitting L2 to go into this page right here, and you're going to see compatibility. And there you're going to see a G, an S, and a W. And what we're going to be focusing on is the W. And right now you see that the Gundam's W is not highlighted. That means it is a non-amphibious suit. And what that means is I'm going to explain it a little later, so let's just go with that. The benefits and the downsides of being non-amphibious and amphibious will be explained later on to this video. I just want to keep things a little uniform and a lot more neat. Now let's go to the right to the Hygog, and with the Hygog you see the W's highlighted, meaning it's amphibious. And with the Gog, W's highlighted, which means it's amphibious, and the same thing with the Guwagu. Now not only that, there is also an amphibious related skill. This skill is found in only amphibious mobile suits, however not all amphibious mobile suits have it. And let's look right here. Now this skill is aquatic mobile shooting. It reads, enables firing during high-speed movement while underwater for main weapons that can fire while moving. And in layman's terms, it just means if your amphibious mobile suit can shoot its main gun while walking or running, it can shoot the main gun while boosting in water. And you can see it right there, it's a very interesting skill and it puts a massive advantage for amphibious mobile suits. And you don't actually need to look at the skills to see if this mobile suit has it, you just gotta know the mobile suit. An example, the Gog. The Gog's main weapon is the twin abdominal megaparticle cannon. I know you can fire this while moving. I know you can fire this while moving, which means I can fire this while boosting in the water. And if we go at skills, look at that, it has that skill. Now let's look at the Guwagu. The Guwagu's main weapon is the triple rocket launcher. I know the Guwagu has to stop to shoot this weapon, so I know it cannot shoot this weapon while boosting in water. And look at that, it does not have that skill. So it's a very simple thing to understand and it's nothing too complicated. The only thing you gotta figure out is if it's its main weapon or not. This does not affect any other weapon except for the main weapon. So something like the Hygog, which has 3 other weapons, this is not affected by that skill. Before we move on to the maps, let me just tell you, all the footage of mobile suits I show you are going to be with no mods attached. We're going to mainly compare the RX-78 with the Hygog, a non-amphibious and an amphibious suit. Both suits are 400 cost, general types, and I'm going to have no mods attached to them. And in general, no mods in general with anything. But anyways, onto the maps. There's 4 maps affected with water. 2 of them are existing maps with now permanent fixtures of water to them. One of them's a variant of an existing map, and the last one's a new map. Now let's move one at a time. The first one is Tropical Desert. So Tropical Desert is gonna be the fastest out of the 4, just because its body of water is very funny when you actually look at it. But it's only on side A, so it's not on the other side, it's near point D. And to the left, you see these buildings and stuff? Well, now there's a small little oasis. And I'm saying small as in, you know, mobile suit size. But this is the only body of water in this map. This body of water is too shallow for you to actually be fully submerged in. However, if you are in this water, you will be counted as in contact with water. And if you don't know what that means, I'll be covering that in later on. The second one is City Ruins. Okay, now for City Ruin or Ruin City, whatever you want to call it. First things first, let me show you guys the map. Now I want to show you guys this because we're on side A, or Team A. Team B or side B have the exact same body of water. everything that implies here is the exact same over there. The only difference really is just the debris that's in the water. You see right here, there's this building. However, inside B, they have like a boulder or something. Nothing really big. It's practically the exact same thing, so I'm not going to show you guys over there. Just take my word for it. But anyways, moving on to this water, it's right when you spawn a little past your base, and you're gonna see this little well that's filled with water. You can submerge yourself in this, and it runs from one end all the way to the other end. Nice thing is there's a ramp on each side, so you can get out of this without really jumping or anything. And another nice thing is you can cross this body of water without jumping over it or going in it, because on each side there's a bridge, and there's one right there as well, which is nice, meaning you don't really need to touch this water. And considering it's all the way back here, you can play this map and this water may or may not actually be a hindrance at all, just because unless your team gets pushed back, no one's really gonna go over here. But anyways, this covers this map. Now the third map is actually a variant of an existing map, and that's of Port Base. And we already have a variant of Port Base, but there's regular Port Base Sunrise, and now Port Base High Tide. So Port Base High Tide, you're gonna be looking at it and you're gonna be like, oh, this looks exactly like Port Base. And yeah, it's extremely similar except for a few things. Now we're walking towards the middle like you usually do in any game, and once you get to this middle where this giant pit was, you're gonna realize it's now filled with water. And that's the biggest change to this map. The giant middle, which runs all the way around, is now completely submerged in water. Which means these bridges are now actual bridges, because if you fall off these, you're now submerged. Now things to know is that there was 4 ramps to get out and in from this. There's one right here and another on the other side. Then there's these 2 in the middle, which allows you to get in and out. Other than that, you're gonna have to boost jump your way out of it. Now it is very important to know that these bridges are actually a lot more dangerous, because if you accidentally fall off, either you get hit off, or you boost off, or you have slippery fingers, you are now submerged. And if you fall off right here, for example, you now have to walk all the way over there. And it's a lot more so if you fall off all the way over there, because now you either have to boost or get the hell all the way over there just to get out of water. Now we're going to be looking at a map right here, and I just want to show you guys where I am. This is a level, well, this is a part of the map that never really sees any action. However, there is added water here, so I want to cover it. So if we go over here, which you'll probably never go in a match, you're going to notice this big ass submarine. And you know, it's cool and all, however, this big ass submarine is now in water. And this is a body of water you can go in. And there's a few things I want to cover with it, and you know, it's nothing too important, however it is here, so why not? So you go into this body of water, it's not that big, but it's actually pretty deep. And the biggest thing you gotta know is how to get out of it. There's no actual normal way to boost your way up there. You can just boost jump your way out of this. However, there is another way you can get out of this, and the other way is a lot more bootleg. So you see these wires right here? Well, you can aim yourself in the right position and actually boost your way up there. Now, it's a little bit hard to do. You have to do it with the right wire. Looks like you can't do it with that wire. Let's look at this one. So you get in the right position, start boosting, and there we go. And from here, you can just walk all the way over there, and you're now out. You have to boost your way up. You can also do it with this wire right here. It's just a funny little thing that you have to bootleg your way up here. But besides that, that's everything with water involving Port Base High Tide. And finally, the last map with water in it is the newly added map to this update, and that's Jungle. Alright, so with Jungle, I'm not here to review Jungle, I'm just here to talk about the water in this level. And looking into the map, you guys see, the water starts basically right at spawn. Right at your base, you can immediately go into the water and you can go all the way to the other end of the map where the enemy's base is. So if you want, right when you spawn, jump in the water and you can make it to the other base without touching land. Now another important thing you gotta know about this water is that there's no actual way to cross it without jumping it or going inside of it. There's no bridges, and thinking about this water being in the middle of the map makes it inevitable for you to go in. So you gotta be careful and make sure you know your surroundings or to know who's in it, because as you see, it's pretty murky. I can't see through it. Maybe you guys have better eyesight, but even when you're in it, it's still pretty dark. So you gotta be careful. But throughout the map, there are these little like ramps and stuff so you can get out. Like right here, I can just naturally walk out. However, if I go over here, you can still boost out or just walk out if you want. So it's not really like there's a spot that you're stuck. There's just a few spots like right here where you can't actually like boost up just because you can't actually come up here, but you can still go over here. So there's just a few little spots here and there about the water, but besides that, that's everything you need to know about this place. So let's go over radar. Radar we're going to be really quick about, but look at my radar right now, it doesn't detect anyone. Now this implies to both amphibious and non-amphibious mobile suits. If you're any mobile suit and you're on ground, your radar when detecting mobile suits in the water will be shortened. Now you can see that there's no one in my radar. I move just a little bit forward, there's one and there's two. And you can see that these mobile suits are fairly close to me. However, they did not get picked up even though they were within my radar range because they were in water. And just to show you, here's an example of me being not in water and them not being in water. Now on the flip side, if you're a non-amphibious mobile suit and you go into water, your radar is affected. Now I'm not going to show you what happens with amphibious mobile suits because I can just easily explain it. Amphibious mobile suits' radar are not affected when they go into water. However, non-amphibious mobile suits on the other hand, I'm going to show you. Look at this, I can see those two mobile suits and I'm on land. Now I'm just going to go into water and they'll disappear. Your radar is shortened if you're not a amphibious mobile suit and you are in water. But if I go a little closer, they show up, that's the first one, and I have to get this close for the second one to show up. And to get the second one to show up on land, just to show you guys again, I have to get this far. So it was right here with water, and for land, it's actually really far. Actually, that is really far, holy crap. But yeah, as you can see, your radar is pretty shortened when you're in water, so just be careful about that. We're first going to cover in contact with water. Now, in contact with water, as the name suggests, is when you're in contact with water, but you're not fully submerged in water. And basically, that means if you're waist down in water, you're considered in contact with water. But you can also just have 1 foot in water, as you see right here. And I'm now in contact with water, and I'm getting the debuffs because I'm a non-amphibious suit, and you can tell because if you look at the bottom right, I have a speed debuff. Now everything I'll be talking about with in contact with water for non-amphibious suits is slightly reduced. You get slightly reduced speed in 3 different categories, and that's boosting, walking, and turning. So now let's compare it with the RX-78. It's going to go through this water and it's going to go through land, and I'm just going to show it side by side. So now going into amphibious mobile suits when it comes to in contact with water, and I really don't want to show you guys all of it, and just take my word for it, there's no changes whatsoever. If you come in contact with water, you see that there's no speed debuff and there's no speed buff. You don't have any changes when you're amphibious, which is really nice. Now time for submerged in water. Submerged in water acts similar to in contact with water, it just has a few changes and a few more things added. But first thing is we want to cover the things that are universal to every mobile suit, being both amphibious and non-amphibious. And the first one is descent speed. if you fall down in water, you descend slower down water than you would in the air. Also, if you're in an amphibious mobile suit and you're falling down in water, you can actually boost while falling down in water. Next is thrusters. Thruster consumption in general is reduced, which means you can boost longer no matter what mobile suit you are when you're in water. That being said, another thing is when your thrusters overheat, they cool down faster no matter what mobile suit you are in water. And finally, one of the most important ones is recovery rate from overheated beam weapons is reduced, which is very nice. If you overheat your beam weapon, just take a dip in water and it will cool down faster, meaning you can start firing again. Now, these next things are different for amphibious and non-amphibious mobile suits, and they're very similar to when you were in contact with water. And let's start with non-amphibious. It's still the exact same three, which is reduced running speed, reduced boosting speed, and reduced turn rate. But instead of being slightly reduced, now it's just reduced, which just means it's more than in contact. So in general, you just all around slower when you're in contact with water, or you're in water when you're non-amphibious. Now on the flip side, the same three things that non-amphibious mobile suits got reduced, amphibious mobile suits get slightly increased, which is running speed, boosting speed, and turn rate. Overall, this is a very nice thing for amphibious mobile suits, just because again, they get these three benefits, the previous three benefits that all mobile suits get, and they can shoot while boosting if they can shoot their main gun while walking. Overall, it's a very nice, just broad buff for all amphibious mobile suits. But with all that being said, that's gonna wrap up this video. There's a few other things you could do with water, but it's just that I don't have the mobile suits to show you, and that this video is getting a little too long, and I don't really like long videos. But anyways, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm not really used to this format of videos, so it's a little rough around the edges. If I forgot anything or there's something that people have found out with water, please leave it down in the comments so it can help everyone, including me. But like usual, stay tuned for some more Battle Operation 2 videos. I'm very excited to actually play some amphibious suits in the water, so that should be up shortly. But like usual, my name is Slothcakes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope you guys have a good one, and see you guys next time.